or property you should have an estate plan. If that sounds a little complicated, it's not. You need a will or a trust. You'll work with an independent attorney available in most states who will walk you through your options. They'll recommend an estate plan that offers the best solution to fit your needs. Since LegalZoom is not a law firm, you can count on efficiency and value. Get your life organized with an estate plan bundle at LegalZoom.com. Don't forget, enter Mike in the referral box at checkout. That's LegalZoom.com. Back after this, Mike and Mike.
Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit Geico.com.
ESPN Radio counts down to football's golden game. Cowboys Hall of Famer Michael Irvin explains the difference between winning one Super Bowl and three.
Won Super Bowl 27, 28, and 30. I tell people all the time, when you win one Super Bowl, you wear that ring. You don't ever take the ring off because you want people to remember you won a Super Bowl. And you show that ring off. But when you win three, you don't have to wear them. They know you have them.
Brought to you by Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system.
Michael Irvin, man, the playmaker. They broke the mold there, man. They broke the mold when they made Michael Irvin the great 8-8. With Mike Golic, I'm Ian Fitzsimmons in for Greeny. Big smile over here on CC's face, just listening to Michael Irvin there on that golden moment, man.
And people are trying to change Cam Newton. Like he's the first time we've had guys in the NFL. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's been going on a while.
Just stop.
That's very true.
I just told everybody, be quiet. I got 3 rings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tim Legler also hanging out with us here in studio, and all guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. A reminder that SportsCenter is brought to you by Bosch Icon Wiper Blades with ClearMax 365. Bosch reminds you to change your wiper blades this season and be prepared when extreme weather hits, because like you, Bosch cares about what's ahead. Visit Bosch88feet.com. We'll touch on Iowa, Maryland, and a little controversy about a basketball coming up in just one moment, as Iowa lost last night to Maryland at Maryland. But you have an interesting theory as to what Coach Lou at Cleveland, who's only coached 3 games, should have done when he was named the head coach of the Eastern Conference All-Star team, and that is?
Well, it's just an idea, and look, I'm not, it's an honor, and I'm not one to tell anybody, not to do that.
And for those that don't know, it's the top team in each conference,
Correct.
their coaching staff, and the reason it went to Popovich was you can't do it 2 years in a row, correct?
That's exactly right.
So Golden State was there 2 years in a row, so Steve Kerr wouldn't be doing it, falls to Popovich, but Cleveland was not tops in the conference last year at this point. They are now, so Lou is the coach.
And the fact that he's got 3 games under his belt, gets named the coach of the All-Star game, I thought to myself right away, look at maybe the second-place team, Toronto, Dwayne Casey. The game is in Toronto. If you're Tyronn Lue, maybe you defer and say, look, I have only been a head coach 3 games. I'm going to give this to Dwayne Casey. I think the league would allow him to do it. I think Dwayne Casey would appreciate it, having the game there. And more importantly, you just took over a team that had issues in the first half, a little bit of turmoil there. Maybe you could use those 4 days in a better way if you're Tyronn Lue with your staff to try to think about what you're going to change and how you're going to do that. So when you come out of the break, you hit the ground running, because it's not the halfway point. You're well past that at the NBA All-Star game. You got a 35-game sprint to the finish line, and they clearly have a lot of ground to make up again in terms of Golden State and San Antonio. They've already seen that this year. So maybe you could take 4 days with your staff, even go somewhere warm, hit a little white ball if you want to, but that's maybe what your focus should be, more than parties and events and things like that take place All-Star weekend. That's just a suggestion, but again, if he wants the honor of it, then that's up to Toronto.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I just think it's a tough perspective. I think it's a great concept, but I think it's depending on how he was approached. Would the NBA approach him? Did the owner of the Cavs approach him? Because it's also an award for their staff. Now,
true, that is
true.
true.
Now we're sitting back looking at it. Yes, man, it would be great to take those few days off, but when you're in that whirlwind, the owner comes to you and said, hey, Blatt's not here. You want to coach the All-Star team? I've been here 3 days. You don't have much time to think. So he's reacting to a lot of different things right now. Then it's going to be hard to get them all right.
And it's a great point, CC, because for all we know, he could have made the decision to do it because of his staff and wanting to reward them in a way, and also knowing we're all going to be in Toronto together because you guys are going to be coaching me. So we'll have time to do some of the things I'm talking about But having 3 games in, and now you're coaching the All-Stars.
I love the Dwayne Casey idea. It's in Toronto, second best.
Because it's Dwayne Casey and it's in Toronto, that's what makes it, makes it better. Yeah, I do like that.
All right, now, you're a great shooter. Iowa, after the game last night, where they lose to Maryland.
In Maryland.
Maryland uses an Under Armour basketball, being an Under Armour school. There were some of the Hawkeyes, there were some complaints coming out of their locker room that the ball that Maryland uses was too heavy. To me, stop. Come on, man.
Well, here's a shooter right here. Here's one.
How big of a difference does it make?
A couple of things. First, I can speak directly to this exact topic because my AAU program is part of the Under Armour Association, so we use Under Armour basketballs in their events. And if my guys ever complain about a basketball ever, I don't care if it's an Under Armour ball or one of our balls or any other tournament, I always say the same thing. It's round and it bounces. And that rim is the same exact width that it has been since James Naismith climbed that ladder. So I don't want to hear any excuses. Now, I've never, ever heard anybody say the ball's too heavy. I have heard guys complain about the grip, and sometimes that is an adjustment to make. The grip is different on different basketballs, and it sticks to your hand a little bit longer sometimes when you shoot it.
Go out early.
There you go. And look, I got a great story exactly related to this as well. 3-point contest, 96. I go in there, and the balls that we're going to shoot with are actually, I had a few of them in the locker room. And we're getting ready to go out there. First of all, I had never shot with a tricolored ball, which is the money ball. And they give you hard, right out of the box, plastic balls. And I'm like, oh, my God. I went out there for 30 minutes, warmed up, shot around, and I believe I broke a record that night for makes, including 13 of those tricolored balls. So the point is, it's round, it bounces, the rim is the same width. It should go in if you have the muscle memory. So that's what I always tell them.
So stop complaining.
And I don't ever want to hear anybody talk about Under Armour in a negative way, with their basketballs or anything else.
I watched the game. No, I watched the game.
There you go.
I mean, they need to move their feet at the end. What about when it's getting dunked on? I mean, it was like a 2-possession game.
The ball wasn't heavy when they were dunking on it.
There's nothing. I was watching the game. Nothing looked like the ball was heavy.
Thanks, Les. Appreciate it.
Les, good to see you, man, as always. Cris Carter, Mike Golic, I'm Ian Fitzsimmons in for Greeny. This is Mike and Mike, ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
Coach Love is back to transform a nation of hopeless men into hopeless romantics. And Sport Clips Haircuts has just the game plan for you, with a chance to win cool prizes, too. See the rules and enter at sportclips.com/Coach Love. No purchase necessary. U.S. only. 18 or older. Ends 2/5/16. Void where prohibited.
Hey, this is George Sedano. Now you can subscribe to the NBA Lockdown podcast in the Listen tab of the ESPN app. For the full NBA Lockdown experience, subscribe now in the new Listen tab in the ESPN app.
The NBA on ESPN Radio. Jimmy Butler, Pau Gasol, and the Bulls head to L.A. to face Chris Paul and the Clippers.
Throws it down with 2 hands.
Coverage begins Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio.
Engine threats lurk around every corner. Stay ahead of gunk, corrosion, and wear with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. The best total engine protection you can get. Protect your car with a breakthrough in premium gasoline today.
The NBA on ESPN Radio. Jimmy Butler, Pau Gasol, and the Bulls head to L.A. to face Chris Paul and the Clippers.
Throws it down with 2 hands.
Coverage begins Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio. Welcome to Mike and Mike's Football Friday.
This dude is banged up.
CC knows you got to play in pain every now and then. I mean, that's just the way it rolls, right?
Travis Kelce, tight end, Kansas City Chiefs, going to be on a reality dating series with 50 women in a house.
One woman from each state in the U.S.
I know Travis. He's a cool kid. Like, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised he limited to the United States.
Football Friday.
Cam, glad he spoke his mind, and that's the way he feels. It's his opinion, and I believe there's a lot of truth to it.
A rowing machine.
It would have been better if, I felt good squatting and I tried to do a little over 500 one day, and it just, a rowing machine took me down.
In case you couldn't tell, it's definitely Friday around here.
It's time for Mike and Mike on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Golic, I'm Ian Fitzsimmons in for Greeny here on Mike and Mike, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and the ESPN app with the Hall of Famer Cris Carter. Hanging out for the final hour, as always, presented by Progressive Insurance. And all guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And, guys, one thing, we've talked a lot about Cam, the Super Bowl. We even got in some controversy in the National Hockey League. But one thing we haven't gotten into yet is Peyton Manning.
Yep.
And Peyton Manning was asked about his last rodeo comments on the 50 with Bill
50-yard line with
Belichick.
Bill Belichick, right.
Now, in case you've missed this, here's Peyton Manning yesterday when he was asked about, hey, this may be my last rodeo. It's been a pleasure. Conversation with Bill Belichick on the 50, and here's the quarterback of the Denver Broncos.
I mean, I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. You know, I mean, what happened to private conversations on the 50-yard line? I mean, I guess they just don't exist anymore. So, no confirmation on that whatsoever. You know, as we are on to Carolina. We're on to Carolina.
A great line on that. On the Carolina. So, as far as Peyton Manning, and is this his last? The one thing I don't want to hear from anybody, because it aggravates me, and I've yelled at Greeny about this occasionally, is if Peyton Manning wins, he should retire. He should retire and ride off into the sunset. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. My thought has always been, you know what? If you want to keep playing, keep playing. If you're willing to put in the work in the offseason to prepare for the next season, and you still have the desire to play, then play. This is a sport where you average 3.5 years. Now, Peyton's played a lot more than that. But if you're willing to put in the time, I heard this when Jerry Rice was going to leave the 49ers. Everybody's like, oh, Jerry, retire a 49er.
Yeah, you're going to ruin your legacy.
Yeah, don't go in it. Ruin your legacy. Are you kidding me? And plus, he wants to play. We're so good at telling other people what to do and how to spend their money and everything. If you want to work, if you want to put the time in and you want to play, play as long as you can. That's my thought.
I think Peyton, he deserves the opportunity, but also from a business standpoint, the Broncos at some point have to move on.
Right.
Just like Green Bay did, just like all the other organizations have done from great quarterbacks. Before the season, the handwriting was put on the wall. All right? He took a pay cut. $4 million.
Which, by the way, he made up $2 of those million with the AFC with the win. He got 2 more to make up.
He's not the only one going to be betting on this game. He got two stacks.
And according to Vegas right now, he's the only one betting on the Broncos. America's all over the Carolina Panthers.
So for me, I understand. I would be shocked if he continues to play.
I agree with that.
Winning or losing, because he didn't have a good year.
But you agree, if he wants to, even if it's not with Denver, if Denver says, listen, we're moving on, and he still wants to play somewhere else, you have no issue with that, right?
No, I got no issue with it, because if he can be a starting quarterback on someone's team, I just don't think Peyton Manning is wired that way.
Right.
But play as long as you want. You only get one opportunity at this.
And that's where Golic and I were having this conversation earlier, CC.
I played an extra year in Miami. Trust me, I looked like a shell of myself. But trust me, I didn't look good in the teal, the white, or anything.
From a fashion standpoint or anything.
And it was not the same player.
But nobody, you know what? People don't remember you as a Miami Dolphin. They remind you, the check cashed. They remember you as a Viking. You don't remember Tony Dorsett with the Denver Broncos. You remember him with the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Or Namath with the Rams, right. Or, on down the line. I used to think that, the whole, and I was a big believer in this a long time ago, until Mike Vrabel just unloaded on me. We had this conversation earlier. Yeah. CC was about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, whatever, when Emmitt Smith was going from the Cowboys to the Arizona Cardinals. And I've got our boy Vrabes on. And I asked him, I said, shouldn't he just retire a Cowboy? Go out where he just broke the rushing record. Go out as a Cowboy. And, man, he said, let me tell you something, Fitz. And he unloaded, saying, you can be a doctor till you're 60. You can sell insurance till you're 70.
Oh, absolutely.
You can lay asphalt, whatever. I mean, you get to talk. As long as you have vocal cords and you can watch a game, you can do your job till you're 80 if somebody will employ you. We can only do this for a certain amount of time. So if a guy wants to play till he's 40, 50, whatever, and as you said, put the work in, we don't get our entire lives to do this. We only have a certain window, so shut the bleep up about going out on top. If he wants to play and can play and somebody wants to pay him, then continue to play. My opinion completely changed. Completely. Because he's right. You guys are right.
He is right.
So if Peyton wants to play,
he is right.
Don't play.
You may not like it, and he may be a shell of himself, and he understands that going into it. I'm with you. I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to be done. But my thought is, if we hear and a few months after he says, I'm willing to keep playing, I want to keep playing, I'm just going to say more power to you.
Let me tell you something. There's millions of people out there every day milking their job for the last year, milking it for the last 6 months. Stop it, people. Like, stop it. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Get that money on that job long as you can.
How much of it is also that guys like Peyton Manning, are heroes, for lack of a better term. People look so up and they want their guys to finish a certain way. The John Elway way.
Sure.
But that doesn't happen. That's not the norm.
Well, people want that. People want that for themselves. That's how they want to remember John Elway or Peyton Manning or whoever.
Well, people don't even know the real John Elway story. John wanted to keep playing. They took that opportunity away from him.
Right.
He was hurt. They wanted to move on. John wanted to keep playing football. So do people really want to hear the real story?
Yeah, so he didn't want to go somewhere else at that point. So
Dan Marino.
Then that's his choice, right?
It's just hard to make that call, and you're not going to be able to do it. So it's up to them.
18, after this, man, do you want to play?
Keep playing.
Keep playing, man.
Thing.
You only get a certain window. It's not like doctors, lawyers, insurance, whatever it might be. And once again, man, you both of you guys know Vrabel. He undressed me to the point where my opinion changed quickly. Now, speaking of change, you guys see the end zones out at Levi Stadium?
Little mistake went on, huh?
So they're painting the end zones. One's supposed to be Denver, right? The other's supposed to be Carolina?
You would think.
Well, one is definitely Broncos. And then on the far end zone, you can see a faint Denver logo. So the ground staff for the Super Bowl had a complete brain you-know-what.
Yeah.
And was not going to paint one of the end zones Carolina. Had to do a big old do-over.
That's a miscommunication right there, huh?
Somebody had Denver. Somebody thought they had Denver. Next thing you know, there's two Denvers.
You know who the grounds crew was not in contact with? Vegas. Because Vegas thinks Carolina's going to get in the end zone a lot more than Denver.
Now, that is, one guy has already fired in a $600,000 bet. Now, look, they're still, we're not even in the game week yet.
Right.
And you have a $600,000 wager that has already been hammered down on Carolina on the money line. Carolina right now is minus 190, meaning to win $100, you have to put up $190. So he would win about $323,000. But to go ahead right now already and fire down on that kind of money on Carolina, that is a huge wager. And now the number has gone from 4 to 4.5 to 5, and now it's all the way up in some places at 6. CC, as you said, Peyton Manning's got a $2 million wager on the Denver Broncos, meaning that bonus he can earn back.
Yeah.
He's the only guy betting on the Broncos right now. America is all over the Carolina Panthers.
I've just seen this long enough, people. Anytime the public goes one way, run the other way.
Well, we saw. Where do we see it? You know.
Get the points.
You have to go all the way back to last week when America was betting 5-1.
Back when your neck was feeling good.
That's exactly right.
That's a long time ago.
America was betting 5-1 on New England over Denver, and see how that one went. As new buildings are now sprouting up in Vegas because of it. I know, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, it is painful to watch him to turn back and forth between us.
Chair. Yeah.
It is painful. Like last week, Jay Root and the guys out in the MGM Mirage or Westgate or wherever, they were pouring champagne all over themselves when Denver not only covers a number but also hits the money line. Man, if Denver does that,
he knows all
next Sunday. You talk about just a bath.
Yeah.
I mean, a bath out there in Vegas. I mean, they will be
Denver
celebrating.
can do it to them twice.
Yeah.
Denver can help
to the
them
public.
out twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do it to the public twice and help out Vegas twice.
Big time.
And help out Peyton. We keep mentioning that. We should explain. Peyton Manning took a $4 million pay cut to help for the salary cap for the Denver Broncos. He got it back in two instances. He can get it back. If he won the AFC Championship game, he gets $2 million. Which he did, so he got $2 million. If he wins the Super Bowl, he gets another $2 million. So he will have made up that $4 million. So he's
going to play
there.
70% of the snaps or something like that. But yeah,
I think that'll happen.
That's a big old bonus.
Yeah, it is.
It's nothing compared to if he gets that second championship.
Boy, that's the truth, isn't it?
Oh, he'll make millions and millions.
Not to say that everybody, he has a lot of money, but when you have money doesn't mean you want more money. But, yeah, the value that's going to hold to him from a personal standpoint.
Every person I know with money wants more money.
That's exactly right. And I think any person in the Manning family or outside of Eli wants another ring. So at least when when they're at reunions, Absolutely. He can put up the same number of rings Eli puts up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a story. Mm-hmm. I mean, what amazing. A story. I mean,
I said it, I don't know if you agree or not, CC, but you know, you look for little things, and some people say, it just worked out that way. Who cares about this or that? It's the Golden Game, 50th anniversary, and there's something about the Manning family, kind of the first family of the NFL, the fact that one of the Mannings is playing. And Archie meant so much to the game, obviously never, got close to the Super Bowl, got knocked around a lot, but meant so much to the game. And then obviously has two kids that have a chance to now win 4 Super Bowls. I think that part of it's kind of neat.
It is very neat. I think all the storylines would have been great. If you could have had Carson Palmer, with his past, getting to the Super Bowl. If you had Tom Brady going for a record number 5, also back close to where he was born and raised. And then now you have the Cam Newton. Right. So the storylines, this is reality TV.
It's the best reality TV on the planet.
And the storylines that we have, these are the best 2 teams. So we would have great storylines regardless, but it's hard to beat. Peyton potentially going out on top, Eli with his 2, the great upsets of New England, Peyton upset New England, and Archie and the way the whole family. It would be a great finish to Peyton's career.
But he's got to get past one of the greatest athletes on the planet, and Luke Kuechly, and Thomas Davis is going to play.
Yes,
and that is the Carolina Panthers. And the Cam Newton narrative, we talked about this earlier for people just tuning in. And I'm Ian Fitzsimmons in for Greeny, along with Golic and the Hall of Famer Cris Carter here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, presented in part by Progressive Insurance. How much will the narrative change? Because I think it will change greatly on the perception of Cam Newton. It's been talked a lot about this week, and Cam Newton addressed it. Ron Rivera, his head coach, addressed it with us here yesterday on Mike and Mike. Charles Barkley's talked about it. You guys have talked about it. But I believe that if he wins the Super Bowl and has the kind of game that it would take for them to win the Super Bowl, I think a lot of people will sit there and say, you know what, young man, the people that don't like the dancing and everything else and what he represents, I think there will be a big old tip of the cap. Hey, you just won the Super Bowl. Congrats.
If they don't, they're idiots. He's a Super Bowl champion. People didn't think Cam had the mental makeup to lead his team, to be the face of a franchise, to operate from the pocket, and he's done all those things. So there's always a great story behind the quarterback that leads his team to a world championship. So I don't know why it changed the perspective of Russell Wilson when he won the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty certain it would change the perspective of others, how they look at Cam Newton. Because, yes, it's something to be a college champion. It's something to be a Heisman Trophy winner. It's something to be MVP. But to be the Super Bowl winner as a quarterback, that is the #1 goal for every quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I agree. I already have the MVP and could add this to it. I think it would help a lot. I'm not sure I agree it'll change as much people's minds as maybe you think, Ian.
Why?
Because he's already played great this year. He's going to be the MVP. I know a Super Bowl champion quarterback adds a lot more to it. But I just don't know why one game, if you are staunchly against the way he acts on the field, I'm just not sure that one game, when he's already played great this year, enough to be the league MVP, will change your mind. It will for some. I agree with that.
You brought up earlier that you have that fringe fan that will also be watching.
That's the thing. In the Super Bowl, when you get 150, 120, 130, 150 million people watching, however many it is, you get a lot more casual fans. So you're going to get a lot of people for the first time seeing what Cam is all about. And I think a lot of them, being casual fans, are going to love the way he acts, are going to love his dancing, his celebrating if he scores or going over and giving the ball to someone. I think they're going to get a kick out of that. It's more the football fan, and maybe you keep wanting to say the old school football fan, who doesn't buy that. Case in point, and I have to disagree with him. We've had him on the show many times. Brian Urlacher. In an article at Sporting News, he said, I play defense, so I don't like when guys celebrate with dances and stuff. He told this to USA Today. He said, you know who I like the way he celebrates is Peyton. He kind of gives the guy a handshake and goes back to the sideline. I think that's a great celebration right there. You don't see him dancing. You don't see him doing all that stuff. Even when he gets a first down, he doesn't do anything. Listen, Urlacher's played a long time. You got to respect his opinion to that. But you're not cookie cutouts. It's not the same person.
It's like
you can't say go be like him. No, don't go be like him. Be yourself.
He didn't play like Mike Singletary.
No.
Ray Lewis didn't play like them. They all had different based on their personality. Now, Brian played within his personality. Mm-hmm. Why shouldn't another player be able to play within his personality? Like, you can't make a guy be Peyton Manning. You can't make a guy act like Tom Brady. You can't be Aaron Rodgers.
We brought this up yesterday, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. Remember Tom Brady in the divisional game against Kansas City when he does what he does every game? He had Julian Edelman come in, and they run down from one end zone to the other. And he gets down to where the Kansas City players are warming up. And he kind of takes this huge hop, skip, and a jump, and then gives a huge fist pump to the crowd and starts screaming into the stands.
And he's got Jay-Z playing in the background that they've scripted from New England, from the PA system.
That's exactly right. Kelsey takes
People
offense
don't know
to
that.
it. But here's the other thing. If that's Cam Newton doing that, or if that's Cam Newton getting all fired up with an assistant coach like the cameras saw Tom Brady, the whole let's go and screaming and yelling, if that's Cam, how are people reacting to that compared to how they reacted to it because it was Tom Brady?
This is what I go back to again. This is what I go back to when Cam came in the league and he was doing what he does and hadn't done anything. As CC, when I said maybe I should change my mind, CC said no. That's what former players can say. Because you have to go in there and you have to prove your mettle before you get ahead of yourself. Tom Brady running down and doing that. What does Tom Brady have in his resume? Tom Brady is walking into the Hall of Fame. Tom Brady is wearing a handful of rings. Tom Brady is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
And it's been nothing but class.
That's exactly. So he goes down and does that, and we've seen him go down and yell in defenders' face who have talked some snack. But you know what you say? Well, okay, but he's done an awful lot on the field. And people are saying about Cam, especially early on, he hasn't really done anything yet. Why is he doing all this stuff when he hasn't done anything? They're waiting for him to prove himself. Well, he's proved himself this year by the way he's played. He's going to be the MVP, and he's got a different personality. So for some people, it's give me something substantial to hold on to that you've accomplished in the league to earn the right to act the way you act. Now, maybe that's not the right way to look at it, but when everybody brings up Tom or Aaron Rodgers, they've all done their stuff after they've become this Hall of Fame type of a quarterback and has some hardware. I think that adds a lot to it.
Right. I don't think Aaron and Tom, because they don't do a lot of things between the play.
Right.
Cam celebrates between the play like a skill guy, like a wide receiver,
right.
like a running back, like things that we're used to seeing. We're just not used to seeing the quarterback do all those things. So, but other guys have made a living for a long time.
A playmaker. Michael Irvin, man.
Well, you can name player after player.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not, but, to me, it's hard to play in the NFL, regardless. The scheme, the athletes, everything, the pressure. But it's almost impossible to play without energy and emotion. And Cam is a very energetic, very charismatic person. So you guys want him to go on the field and change that? So what's his potential of being at his absolute best? If he's very charismatic, very animated, very emotional, very driven. I mean, to me, I wouldn't even come on this show. If you guys told me I couldn't be me, what the heck am I come on here for?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You shouldn't be asked to be somebody else. I think that's crazy.
And the bottom line is also, look, America can, if you're a Saints fan or whomever, you're somebody down in New York that doesn't like Cam because of his antics or whatever. The bottom line is all that matters is his teammates respect the heck out of him and love him and follow him. The fans absolutely adore him. When he does that sprint from one end zone to the other, it's like a wave of euphoria with the crowd. The fans love him. His teammates love him. The franchise loves him. And guess what? That's all that really matters.
NFL loves him.
Bottom line, man. With Cris Carter, Mike Golic, I'm Ian Fitzsimmons. All guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Coming up next, another example of any pub could be good pub. And except maybe there's an exception to every rule, Golic. I'm going to get that. You're going to yell at me. I know you're going to yell at me.
I know. You're right. I am.
We'll get to that coming up right after this from Trump National.
The greatest golf resort in America, the Trump National Doral in the heart of Miami over the last several years, over $250 million has been invested to completely rebuild the iconic Doral Golf Resort into the Trump National Doral. Over 700 incredible guest rooms and suites, signature restaurants like the BLT Prime Steakhouse. That's what I'm talking about. Fully redesigned each of their 4 championship courses, including the world-renowned Blue Monster, home to the WGC Cadillac Championship in March of this year.
Yep.
The Red Tiger, Silver Fox, Golden Palm courses were all also completely redesigned. I'm sure
Played them all.
those. I was just going to say, I bet you did. A brand new driving range with state-of-the-art LED lighting for nighttime use. True Spec Golf, highest level of golf fitting facility with equipment from all the major brands. The Jim McLean Golf School, an expansive tropical pool oasis. Love that. State-of-the-art tennis complex. Take advantage of an exclusive offer just for our fans. Call 305-717-6350. Ask for the Mike and Mike promotion or visit TrumpNationalDoral.com. Enter the promo code Mike. Back after this on Mike and Mike.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
And it's the other end. Here's Lehman on the breakaway. Lehman, a skip pass goes to Nickens with a left-handed layup. It's good. And the Terps up by 6 with 1:09 to go.
Number 8 ranked Terps take down number 3 Iowa 74-68 on ESPN last night. Maryland's first win versus a ranked opponent this season.
Under dispute because of basketball.
With
Iowa complained.
And Fitzsimmons, that's Cris Carter here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. The Ducks take down an 18th ranked Arizona 83-75. That loss snaps Arizona's 49-game home win streak, longest active one.
Can I do Bill
Division
Walton again?
1, please.
I was watching that game, and Arizona was up 28-19, and they were talking about how at that point Arizona was shooting 93% from the field, to which Bill Walton said, and Oregon's only down 9. How was that, all right?
That was pretty good.
Okay.
Did you see him put the whatever dust or whatever thing on him?
Dude, he's special, isn't he?
Forget the
Well, I can't even say what I was going to say. Oh, my gosh. I'm so glad I didn't say that. Thank you. Oh, my gosh.
I do want to know, and we're going to find out in about 10 minutes.
Oh, boy.
I can't wait for that one. Sports Center is brought to you by Burger King.
All right, you like burgers? You like chicken? Then you'll love the new Flame Grilled Chicken Burger from Burger King. A flame grilled chicken patty topped with veggies on a toasted bun. Right now, they're just 2 for $5. The new Flame Grilled Chicken Burger only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary. It's almost the weekend, Cece. Hold off.
Okay, no
Hold off on.
Control yourself, man. Luckily, this time there was a filter from brain to mouth, right?
Oh, boy.
All right, let's begin with the NHL All-Star suspensions. Now, there's an old philosophy that any pub is good pub, and the NHL, we all know, needs publicity. And right now, you've got, you have 2 of the best players in the game. And Blackhawks' Jonathan Toews and Alex Ovechkin both are not playing in the All-Star game. Ovechkin due to injury. Toews is sick. The first game after the All-Star game, they are going to be suspended per league rules for 1 game for not participating in the All-Star game. Now, this is not the first time it's happened.
2009, couple of
Datsuk and Lindstrom.
And then last year, Sidney Crosby, he'd missed the All-Star game, so he had to sit a game after that. It's their rule. I mean, what do you think of that rule, CC? You miss the All for any reason.
Hurt.
You can really be hurt. And if you miss if you are voted into the All-Star game and you miss it, you're suspended for the first game after the All-Star game.
To me, it looks like you're really punishing the fans. Because someone who has a ticket, or a little kid that has a ticket to that first game, and that star player is not going to be there, you're penalizing them. So not only are you not getting all the stars to play, which I don't know why, but there are legitimate reasons when you have an All-Star game in the middle of the season, that people could be injured and could miss. So that's a tough rule to have year after year after year. You're going to see people being suspended for a number of reasons because they're going to be people are going to be banged up. And their reasoning for having it is because they want all their stars to be able to participate in the all-star game for the fans that are going to be in attendance. And like fans in Columbus didn't get to see Sidney Crosby last year in the all-star game because he was hurt. Right. And it was a team decision. We're going to hold him out.
and take the 1-game suspension. These two teams also. I mean, look,
it's an interesting rule. I mean, I can't say right off the top of my head I really like it, to say even if you have a legitimate injury.
Like Ovechkin.
That you have to sit a game, because I know what people say, well, how do you know it's a legitimate injury? They just, what are you going to start doing? Send them to independent doctors to make sure they're hurt? Right. You can't start down that process. But that's a
to
hefty little thing.
To me, though, I just think the players, they should care enough about the game to build their brand. The All-Star game is a big weekend for them. If you look at the NBA, we don't have that. Our best players, even if they might be hurt. Kobe hadn't played. He played last night. Right. He's going to play in the All-Star game. Right. So the overall attitude, I think, in hockey, and the relationship between the players and the Players Association and the league, I think, has to change. That the players, they need an out. I mean, it's a physical sport.
It is.
And they need an out. If you're injured, you should be free of suspension.
I agree. And 3 of the sports, 3 of the 4, have their All-Star game in the quote-unquote middle of the season, even though the basketball is a little bit past the middle of the season. What do you think of what's going on in the NFL with the Pro Bowl? I mean, that's the one after the season. We have the biggest changeover of roster in the history of the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. Now, once they changed the Pro Bowl to a week before the Super Bowl, you automatically lose the Super Bowl, 2 teams there. This year we lost 14 players in the Pro Bowl, so they're going to get replaced. Mm-hmm. But then we got replaced, so many other replacements, to where the 8th alternates are now getting in the game. People still go to the game, and it still rates. So I guess from that standpoint, to say if people are going to watch it, more power to them. But what do you think about the game itself? Do you think they need to kind of revamp it a little bit, maybe make it a newcomer's game, a rookie game, or somehow do something different to it?
Well, this is the thing in the league. It's going to be hard to do because at the timing of it, you're talking about lucky. You have to be lucky to make it through an NFL season.
Right.
And if you look at your overall NFL career, I was voted in the Pro Bowl 8 times. I played in it 8 times. I just thought I owed that to the people who voted me in. And if I was healthy enough, which I was going to play in the game. That was just my own perspective. I think today, when you start getting down to the 8th guys in the Pro Bowl, it's not the Pro Bowl. It's just a NFL All-Star game. It's not the best of the best. And that's what you want to see. But, you have a dilemma because my career, it's not going to benefit from me playing an extra game.
Right.
So if I get in the Pro Bowl 5, 6, 7 extra times, I jeopardize being injured, and certain positions are a lot tougher in the game than others. And if you're a quarterback and you play in that game, man, you're going to have to come to an agreement with the coaches.
Right.
I know we had Luck as our quarterback last year, and he pretty much told me, I'm going to play like a series, buddy, and I'm going to be out of there because I was one of the captains. Uh-huh. So I've been fortunate enough to be around it, and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Why jeopardize that long-term money over an all-star game? So it becomes very, very difficult to find a happy median. But I'm going to tell you, when you get to the 4th quarter, you tell this guy, listen, $50,000 to win, $35,000 to the loser. All of a sudden, they start to run and they get the engines going. So the NFL, the first 3 quarters, that last quarter is very interesting.
Yeah, I think the exact number is 58 or 59 to the winner and 29.5 to the loser. That's starting to pay for everybody. That's starting to pay for everybody you flew in. All the bar tabs that are going on as well. Not that they couldn't pay them all anyway, but why not?
So, of course, I get some type of deal last year. Myself and Mike Irvin as the captains, and we get the players' appearance, winner or loser, exactly the same.
You got the same thing. Okay.
Yes. So the reason why I'm on the show, not in Hawaii now, is because I lost last year.
Right.
So they got Jerry Rice taking my place this year.
Right.
So I might be on a bye year. I might be able to get back in next year. So keep doing the Pro Bowl. I'll be back next year. Don't cancel our game.
New money, man. New money, man. It's always new money this time of year.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with new money.
Drives the ship.
All right, another story in the National Hockey League that is bigger than the National Hockey League is Dennis Weidman and his hit on the official and Don Henderson. Now, most pro athletes, you've wanted to hit an official, but you've never hit an official intentionally. This, to me, looked intentional. He has now been suspended by the NHL as they undergo an investigation. He can face a minimum of 20 games. This, to me, was cowardly. I thought it was intentional. Every time I watch it again, I think it is. I become more convinced that after he got boarded and no penalty was called, he gets up. He is a little wobbly right when he gets up, gathers himself, and starts going toward his bench, If you haven't seen it, check it out on ESPN.com, the video. You're watching it right now on ESPN2. Then you'll see Dennis Weidman, defenseman, Calgary Flames, all of a sudden starts skating toward his bench and then sees the official, changes course, and then speeds up right at the end and jacks him with his stick and cross-checks him in the back. Golic, to me, that is 100% intentional, and you can't convince me otherwise.
No, he's been taken off the ice and suspended, and this isn't start of his suspension, but he's been suspended while the investigation is
Some are saying this should be assault.
And it's not going to be. Police aren't going to get involved. No jail is going to get involved. I don't think that's not going to happen at all. But remember, his excuse was, he said because of the hit, he had his hands on his knees, and when he came up, the ref was right in front of him. You can obviously see that wasn't true.
And he was woozy.
He was woozy, yeah, but his hands weren't on his knees. He was skating for a bit. To me, the best defense would have been the action was actually coming his way, and he actually had to get out of the way, or he would have interfered as he was trying to get off the ice. So when he moved over to get out of the way, he hit the ref. Still wouldn't have believed it, but at least it would have seemed more plausible given what the situation was on the ice. I think he definitely did it intentionally, and I think you could be bringing a 20-game suspension here for that action, and I think he's going to get that. I don't think there's any way you can look at that. If he had just run into him, but him putting up his hands and the stick and hitting him with the stick in the back, I think says it all.
Yeah, that's not going to fly. I mean, he accelerated.
Yeah, he did.
That's horrible. I mean, it's horrible. His interview, the cover-up, trying to make an excuse.
Yep.
Maybe if he was concussed, maybe if the referee broke into his hotel room and he frightened him or something. But to utilize, I mean, a stick is a weapon.
Yep.
And a guy is skating with his back. And to me, it's very disrespectful to the game, to be able to. One time I called a ball on the sideline, and the referee, he said the ball hit the ground, and the ball did hit the ground. But I had complete control of it. And the ref was very, very close to me. And I spiked it and said it was a bad call. And he was close, and the ball hit and hit him right in the face. And I was like, oh, my goodness. I done sure enough messed up. Man, I'm so sorry. They threw a flag on me and everything. I didn't get fined by the league. But it was immediately, I knew that I had messed up.
Right.
This one, he didn't even recoil or anything.
No.
Checked the dude, knocked him down, goes on over to the bench, and he's talking to someone, because if he was concussed, he wouldn't be as verbal, in those situations. So for me, there's no excuse for it. There's no place in sports, and he could have really hurt that man.
Yep.
No doubt about it. And the other one is John Scott in the All-Star game, quickly, where he posted yesterday on the Players Tribune that he got a call from the NHL. And for one, if you don't know who John Scott is, he's an enforcer who was with Phoenix, then got traded. Now he's in the AHL. He's 6'8", 260 pounds. He fights in the NHL, protects his team's star players. Well, he posts on the Players Tribune that somebody with the NHL asked him, quote, "Do you think this is something your kids would be proud of, having him play in the All-Star game?"
Again, it was a grassroots effort when he was in Phoenix to get him into the All-Star game. He got so many votes, he was one of the captains of the game, and a lot of people kind of looked cross-eyed at that. Then he got traded and sent down, as Ian just said. But for the league to say that to him, listen, to the league, it's your rule that says the fans can vote the starters. They voted him in. You may not think, as in the league, that he should be one of those guys, but that's the rule. You're sure to enforce the All-Star rule. If you're not going to play, you're suspended the next game. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, we want to tweak this one a little bit. No, you let the fans have the vote for the starters and for the captain, and he was voted. You may not like it, but he should be the captain.
He should. Absolutely. Well, those are the rules.
That's right.
And to bring his kids into it?
Oh,
that's
an embarrassment.
I would be proud.
Yeah.
My kids will be proud of their dad playing in the All-Star game.
That's a line that the league should be embarrassed about if they truly said that to him.
They've been paying guys millions of dollars to knock guys out in hockey. Okay, for years and years and years. Okay? This guy, what he's doing is not anything new.
With Cris Carter, Mike Golic, I'm Ian Fitzsimmons. Show continues right after this from Casper Sleep.
Set yourself up for a great year by really investing in yourself.
Oh, my Casper mattress is so nice.
It's great, isn't it? Get a Casper mattress. Time named it one of the best inventions of 2015. It's engineered for the supportive comfort you need. So are Casper's new pillows and sheets. The dual-layer pillow contains nearly 1 billion microfibers that adapt to your movements, keeping you supported and cool through the night. You try it at home for 100 nights free. If you don't love it, they'll pick up the mattress and refund you everything. Go to Casper.com, use the code Mike for $50 towards the purchase of your mattress. That's Casper.com, code Mike. Terms and conditions apply. Back after this on Mike and Mike.
Amanda, I need sheets.
Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com.
Cris Carter, the Hall of Famer, Mike Golic. I'm Ian Fitzsimmons here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. All guests like Ron Rivera yesterday, head coach Carolina Panthers, join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And before we get to forward thinking, guys, a couple of emails are left over from the 1-800-Flowers.com Twitter feed, and you won't believe what Michael Phelps. How many gold medals does he have? Like 18?
20 gold medals, 18, 22 total.
You won't believe what he did.
Incredible.
He skinned off in public at a basketball game.
All right, I don't really know what skinned off is, and I'm a little concerned now about what you just said.
He took everything else down to the Speedo.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
yeah, skinned off.
I've never heard that term in my life. UCC?
I'm from Ohio. I wouldn't consider myself country, but you're really country. I mean, you're country in the middle of
grew up on a horse farm in Louisiana, man. Come on. Folsom, Louisiana. Tip here for you, Golic, from South Miami.
Shoot, he's ripped.
I told you.
He's got a tan. Oh,
we're going to get to it.
If I look like that, yeah, absolutely.
That's my point.
It came a little early with the video. We're not even on the story.
We'll get to it in a minute. We'll get to it in 1 second.
Yeah.
This one, Golic, get some BioFreeze, man. You look like you have a neck collar on.
I know. I feel like it as well. I've used BioFreeze. It is good.
Yeah, but not for this.
Not
You're
for this
beyond
one.
BioFreeze?
I'm more into the medication stage. Yes.
I use BioFreeze when I play tennis.
Yeah. I definitely like BioFreeze. This is a little beyond it. This took needles and some other things, and there's going to be more involved. But I appreciate the.
That's what the National Football League will do to you.
Yeah.
A rowing machine can set you back for a couple of days.
Yeah, this one got me. Mm-hmm.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right, just checking.
Yeah.
And then this one, for people who hate Cam Newton's dancing and touchdowns are the same people that hate disco.
No, I don't think so, because I hate disco.
I was going to say, dude, disco is awful.
You hate disco?
The clothes,
The clothes, yeah, that was interesting.
I mean,
interesting era.
Nah, no.
Don't feel it?
Always been into the R&B and the rap.
I got you.
I've been pretty consistent.
Yeah, I think that if you reversed that, you know what I mean, that statement, then you'd be more correct. All right, Golic, explain to us why Michael Phelps was even at Arizona State.
Well, Michael Phelps, he has a coach. His coach is Bob Bowman, who coached him at North Baltimore. It's been his only coach. Phelps made his first Olympics at 15 years old. And Bowman then went to coach at Michigan. And Michael Phelps went there. Couldn't swim in Michigan because he had already been sponsored and was making money off that, so he couldn't swim in college. But he trained with Bowman there. Bowman then went back to North Baltimore, and Michael went back to North, staying with his coach. Now, Bowman is now the swim coach at Arizona State, and so Michael Phelps moved out there, and he is now swimming with Bowman and Arizona State as he trains for the Olympics. So that's why he's out at Arizona State. And while he's not, swimming for the college or anything like that, or in college, he is still very much playing the in-college role, so much as he helped out Arizona State in their basketball game against Oregon State. They have something they call the curtain of distraction.
Yeah, they roll out this curtain with whatever behind it, only in the second half when it's a tight game.
Right.
And they do different antics. They'll open the curtain.
So they'll open the curtain, yes, and people will step out. So when they opened the curtain, there were 3 guys standing there.
One of the greatest Olympians of all time.
It's unreal. There are 3 guys standing there. One of them is Michael Phelps. He strips off his shirt.
Whoa.
All he has on is his Speedo,
and his
swim cap, and medals around his neck.
Man, forget that. What's all that lunch meat next to him?
That's me. Yeah. They gotta look like me.
You got to package the meat different.
There's a couple guys on either side of him that remind me. It reminds me of the Chris Farley Saturday Night Live skit with Patrick Swayze. Yeah, with the kind of meat those guys had.
They need some training bras on them.
But here they did to the man's ear.
Everything.
But there's Michael Phelps, shirt in a Speedo with gold medals on, just in the Speedo, and The guy missed both free throws.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Priceless. Forward thinking. Get you ready for the weekend. Brought to you by Mahindra USA, the world's #1 selling tractor. College Hoop, number 11 Virginia, number 16 Louisville, 1 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN Radio. Also tomorrow, Spurs at Cavs, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC and ESPN Radio. Sunday, Bulls at Clips, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC and ESPN Radio. We want to remind you, if you missed any of the show, including our conversation with Legs in Hour 3, you can listen to all 4 hours of Mike and Mike on demand in the ESPN app, and now you can subscribe to our Best Of podcast. It's all available in the Listen tab of the ESPN app. Now you guys know why my wife wants me to exercise. The two dudes standing next to me.
You would have been like one of those guys.
Safe travels.
Thanks, man. See you.
CC, always good to see you.
Coach Love is back to transform a nation of hopeless men into hopeless romantics. And Sport Clips Haircuts has just the game plan for you, with a chance to win cool prizes, too. See the rules and enter at sportclips.com/Coach Love. No purchase necessary. U.S. only. 18 or older. Ends 2/5/16. Void where prohibited.
Hey, this is George Sedano. Now you can subscribe to the NBA Lockdown podcast in the Listen tab of the ESPN app. For the full NBA Lockdown experience, subscribe now in the new Listen tab in the ESPN app.
The NBA on ESPN Radio. Jimmy Butler, Pau Gasol, and the Bulls head to L.A. to face Chris Paul and the Clippers.
Throws it down with 2 hands.
Coverage begins Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on ABC.